I stumbled on this on Pinterest app and I decided to recreate mine. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lady Peace. On this channel I share sewing tutorials, videos and pattern drafting. If you are new, you are highly welcome. Please do well to hit on the subscribe button and please turn on that notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Please sit tight and make sure you watch this video till the end. Let me also know what you think about this in the comment section, and do not forget to share this video so that others can learn as well. So with that being said, let's just dive into today's video. So guys, I have this beautiful Ankara fabric here that is 6 yards, and this is what I'm going to make use of. I also have my bridal satin. I got this bridal satin because I thought the white was too transparent and I didn't want it to be too open, but I later didn't use the bridal satin. I also got this white Chantilly lace, and I'm going to show you guys the process here. So this is what I tried to check, but along the line I felt like it was still very okay, even though I decided to use a bridal satin material on it just like this. So right now I'll just keep these ones aside and then open up my fabric. So I'm going to first place this hot iron on it so that I can be able to remove this label. If you are finding it difficult with this, I believe this video will help. So just place your hot iron on it this way and then remove all the label you have on your fabric. And after that, I'm just going to go ahead and open up my fabric and then fold it into two. Now, if you want to make a longer version of this dress, you guys know Ankara fabric usually comes in 45 inches. The length I'm working with is 60 inches. That means I will need to fold my fabric this way first. If you fold your fabric this way, you will get the length you want. But if you are working with a shorter version, you can also get it even if you fold it like this. I hope you understand. So the length I'm working with is 60 inches. I'm going to first fold it into two this way, and I'm going to take this measurement. While you fold, make sure you are going to measure this to be sure. All right, so measure this to be sure that the length you have it's accurate before you go ahead to cut your fabric out. So I'm going to now fold it into two, take the measurement. Once I get up to 60 inches, I'm going to go ahead and fold it again into four. You can see that I had to repeat this again because at some point when I fold, I noticed that the length wasn't okay, so I decided to fold it again. So after folding it this way, you're now going to fold it again into two, making it a fold into four. You can see, so this other part here is the folded part. So we have both the center front and the center back folded together, which means we are going to be cutting both the back and the front together. So once you're done, go ahead and place your iron and then iron this out. One thing I love doing is to iron my fabrics whenever I'm working with them, so make sure your iron is very close to you. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to first rule a line at the top here to serve as our shoulder line. From this point, I'm going to come in by half of my shoulder measurement, all right, plus ½ inch. So my shoulder is 15, half of it is 7.5, and I added ½ inch, making it 8 inches. So I marked 8 inches instead of 7.5. And then for the neck width, I used 3 inches neck width, and I came down by 1 inch for the back neckline, and I'm going to also mark 3 inches for the front neckline. So we are going to be drafting both the back and the front here. So guys, make sure you connect it this way, and then also try to connect your back neckline just like this. So we have the back neckline and the front neckline. So the next thing you're going to do now is to get your armhole, and to do that you're going to divide your round bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it. Whatever you get is your chest line. So in this case, mine is 7.5. I'm also going to add ½ inch to it for ease. All right, so when you add ½ inch to the shoulder area also add ½ inch to the armhole area so that this dress is going to be free on you. So I came down by 1 inch from that point, and I'm going to connect it now back to the neck width. This is for the shoulder slope. You guys know that our shoulder is not straight, so come down by 1 inch and connect it this way. From this 1 inch point now, I'm going to measure down to where I have my 8 inches. I decided to take it down to this point. This is where the 8 inches is. So I'll measure from here to here, and I'm going to now fold it into 2 to get the midpoint. And from that point, I went in by 2 inches, sorry, by ½ inch to connect my armhole. And on the chest line, I'm going to mark my round bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches for ease and 1.5 inches for stitching allowance. This dress has to be free, just like a bubu. That was why I added 2 inches for ease. Now that I'm done with this, the next thing now is to connect my armhole. But before then, I'm going to connect a line across so that you guys know what we are doing here. So this is the chest line. So I'm now going to go ahead now to connect my armhole. This particular video is not really a beginner friendly video, but if you're a beginner and you pay more attention to this, you understand every bit of it. So after connecting your armhole, this is what you will have. So we are also going to connect the back armhole from this point here where we divided our shoulder to get the midpoint. So you just place your ruler here and then connect from that point down to the chest line. That is how to get the back armhole. So just connect from here to this point like this. I feel like this my chalk is not really very visible, but you guys please try to understand what I'm doing here. Now from this shoulder slope, I'm going to come down to shoulder to my hip, which is 26 inches. So after marking, I'm going to connect a line across. Take the measurement from your shoulder to your hip, whatever you get, use it to mark a line across here on the fabric. Now once you're done with that, we are also going to take shoulder to the waistline, which is also known as the half length. Mine is 17 inches, so I'm going to mark it here and then also connect a line across it. After connecting this, you're going to come to the waistline and mark your round waist divided by 4. So I'll mark it here, add 2 inches for ease and 1.5 inches for your seam allowance. Alright, and then you come to the hip here, you're going to mark your round hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches for ease and 1.5 inches for your stitching allowance. Once you're done with this, you're now going to go ahead and connect all those points. After connecting this point, just make sure you smoothen these areas here. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is from the hip line, I'm going to connect it down to the full length of my dress, but in a shape, in an A shape, like as if I want to cut out an A dress. So I'll just slant it. I'm not going to take the ruler straight, I'm just going to slant it towards the end of the dress. So this is what I'm trying to say here. From this point here where I have my hip line, I'm just going to take it all down and I'm going to use a straight ruler for this. So you're going to place your straight ruler in a form of an A shape. Alright, so from the hip you're going to take it all this way. So instead of placing mine very straight this way, so I decided to slant it a little bit to the side. So the dress I'm currently working on is not going to be having slit on the side. So instead of placing the ruler straight, I'll just slant it to the side to give me that A shape. Alright, so you just slant it this way and then you connect from the hip down to the full length of your dress. So after connecting it, this is what it looks like. I'm going to try to bring my camera so that you guys can see where I took it down to. Alright, so after connecting it this way, you're going to go ahead and cut it out. So I took it from the hip here. This is the hip, from here down towards the length of this dress in form of an A shape. All right, so after that, you're now going to go ahead now and cut everything out. But you're going to first cut out the back neckline and the armhole before we remove it now to cut out the front. All right, so you know the back is 1 inch, which is here. I'm going to cut it out. On the shoulder line, I left about ½ inch on the shoulder for this joining allowance. I'm going to cut through the side this way. I'll take it down to this point, and then from here I will now cut it out. So this is what it is. This is what it looks like. All right, so once you're done with this, now you're going to now remove the back from inside and then place back the front and cut it out. So this is now, before I even remove the back, I'm going to notch this point. If you want to add pocket to this dress, make sure you notch that point. Even though I didn't even add my pocket later, but if you want to add a pocket, make sure you notch that point. You're going to add from your waistline down to about 7 inches. That is how to place pocket on a dress. Just notch those points so that you know where your pocket is supposed to be. So right now you're going to fold back this one. Make sure you fold this back very neat, and then go ahead to cut out the front neckline. All right, so fold it this way. Go ahead now and cut away the front neckline. If you noticed, at this point I forgot to even trace out the front armhole, but I did this off camera. So right now, after that, you are going to now bring whatever material you want to place in front. Like for me, this is a bridal satin, and this is what I intend using with the white lace I got, because I felt like the lace was going to be too transparent, but along the line I noticed it even came out very beautiful without this bridal satin. So if you are using a chantilly lace, it's still okay. You can also decide to use any other material for your front design. It totally depends on what you want. But if you are using a material like this, you're going to come in by 20 inches. So I'll come in from the beginning of this fabric by 20 inches, and I'm going to mark it all down. Go in by 20 inches, connect it into a straight line, and then cut it out. So the width for this should be 20 inches, and the length for this should be the length you are working with. Then you're going to now go ahead and cut it out. Once you are done cutting, you're going to now fold this into 2 and then place your fabric on it this way. All right, so fold it into 2 and place your fabric. Make sure the folded part of your fabric is facing the folded part of the material you intend to use in front, just like what I'm doing here. So you're going to go ahead now and cut it out. So if you know that you cannot cut this out without pinning this down, please do well to pin this down before you cut, most especially if you are a beginner. Make sure you pin it down. Even if you are a pro, I feel like you need to pin down this part so that when you are cutting your dress, it's not going to like start moving around. So it will just stay in place, and then you go ahead and trace it out, which is what I'm doing here. I will just use my pins to just hold it down, and then use my scissors and trace out everything. Once you're done tracing this out, guys, another thing I did off camera was to slant my neckline inward this way to about 4 inches. This is something I did on the fabric, and I decided to also do it here on my white fabric. So after cutting your neckline, you're going to open up your neck area this way, go in by at least 4 inches, and then slant it a little like this. So when I open up this fabric, you're going to understand everything we did here. So sorry about that my camera didn't capture that part. After cutting your neckline, go in from the center, from that your neckline area, go in by 4 inches and open it up. So from the armhole, I went down by 4 inches, and from the shoulder, I'll come down by 13 inches. From that 13 inches point, I'm going to measure downward. I'll use 3.5 inches downward. From the 13 inches point, you're going to mark 3.5 inches from the shoulder here, come down by 3.5. All right, you can use 3.5, you can use 4 inches depending on how wide you want it to be, but I'm making use of 3.5 inches, and I'm going to connect this down to where I have the length of this material. I'll take it downward and then connect it into a straight line, and also cut away the excess I have here. So go ahead and trace it out this way using your ruler to connect it. Please pay attention to this part because this is where you have it in front, so you want to be very careful when you are doing this. So take it up to where you have your 13 inches point. All right, so remember, from the shoulder I came down by 13 inches, and from that point I went in by 3.5 inches downward. So after connecting it to that 13 inches point, you're now going to make a curve from the 4 inches we came down by on the armhole area. We are going to make a point now to meet this 13 inches point, and to do that you need to use a ruler. So I'm going to use my straight ruler this way. I'll use my curved rule and connect it down to meet that 13 inches point, just like this. So connect it this way. Can you see? Once you're done connecting it this way, you're now going to go ahead and trace this out. So I'll cut from the armhole area down to the full length that I'm working with. Cut it this way. Can you see? So by the time you cut, you're going to open it up and you have something looking like this. Look at the neck area. I told you to go in at least by 4 inches and open it up this way. You guys, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but if you don't, please let me know in the comment section. So I'm going to use that bridal satin now to cut on the chantilly lace. After cutting, this is what it looks like. I'm just going to go ahead now and remove my pins. All right, so go ahead and remove your pin, and if you want to also cover it up just like what I was trying to do here, then you will need to join them together, right side facing each other, and stitch it. Then later on you turn it over to the right side and give it a very good press. But along the line I ended up not using this my bridal satin because I felt like the white on the fabric alone has its own beauty. Can you see? This is the white I have here. So at first I decided to add it up with a satin this way to cover it up. All right, so you cover it up if you want to do it this way, and you are going to pin down the neck areas. Pin it down. You take it over to your sewing machine and stitch only that neck area. Turn it over to the right side and iron it out. So guys, this is where I decided not to use it. After joining them together, this is what it looks like. So I decided not to use this. I decided to go with the lace itself. All right, I decided to go with the lace itself, but this is just so you understand. When you want to place this on the fabric, you will need to place the right side facing the wrong side of your fabric, the right side facing the wrong side of your fabric, and then you are going to now pin it down. All right, you're going to pin from the neckline, from this point where we slanted, where we open up. I hope you understand. From this point, pin it down. You're going to pin it through to this point here, and do same thing to this other side. You're going to pin it, and after that you go out on both sides by 1/2 inch. So this 1/2 inch is what you will use to stitch this neck area. All right, so go in by 1/2 inch this way. Go over to your sewing machine and stitch it all around. After that, you're going to notch. You're going to notch those points, turn it over to the right side and iron it out. All right, so when you notch, you turn it over to the right side this way, and then you're going to now iron it out. After that, I decided to remove the bridal satin and make use of just my chantilly lace, and you can see how beautiful it looks. I felt like the bridal satin on it was giving it that, I don't know, but it was kind of very dull, so I decided to just make use of this lace alone, and you can see how beautiful it looks. Let me also know if you love this very method in the comment section. This is what it looks like, and right now The next thing I'm going to do is to now pipe the rough edges. I'm going to use a bias to hold the rough edges, but before then, make sure you use your needle to hold it down so that by the time you are working on the rough edges, it's not going to start moving away. All right, so I'm just using my needles now to pin it down. I hope you understand. And I'm also going to follow the center of this fabric. This is why you need to iron this out. When you are cutting this, you need to iron it out to get the midpoint, like the center of your fabric. So you are going to place this fabric on the center of your main fabric, all right? And you're going to pin it down. So you are pinning it down so that it follows the real part you want it to follow. I just hope you understand. Like, I'm pinning this down so that it will follow the center of my fabric. If you actually iron this very well, you are going to have a ghetto line, so you just need to follow it up by pinning it down so that whatever you are doing, the fabric is not going to start, it is not going to shift, sorry. So after that, the next thing you're going to do right now is you're now going to use a bias. All right, we are going to use a bias now to hold the rough edges, like to pipe the rough edges. This is the bias I will use, and it's black. So I will just cut away the rough edges here, and then I'm going to use it now to pipe the rough edges on the chantilly lace. So if you know bias, you should know that it has been neatly folded. So what you need to do right now is just to place it on the white fabric. This is what you do. You're going to now place it in between this white fabric, and you're going to now top stitch on it. This is just to secure the rough edges. So you go over to your sewing machine, place it this way, and you're going to top stitch on it. Make sure you top stitch on it, take it down to where you have the full length of your dress. So you want to make sure you are very careful when you are doing this. All right, you're going to fix it inward this way, fold your bias this way, and top stitch on it. So I'm going to do this to all of the rough edges, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So you need to take your time when you are doing this. And after I was done making mine, this is what I have here. All right, this is what I have here. I use a bias, I use my thread to top stitch on it on the fabric on one side, and then on this other side as well. This is what it looks like. I've top stitched on it, and this other part here is open. So I first of all use it to secure the rough edges before I top stitch it to the main fabric, sorry. So you are going to now repeat same thing on this other side, top stitch it till it gets to the end of your fabric. And after that, I'll show you guys what mine looks like. This is what I have after I was done. This process is very very, how do I call it, you just need to be very careful when you are doing this, because that's why I said this video is not a beginners friendly video. If you already know how to do this, you understand what I'm trying to say. So you are going to close up the shoulders area. After closing up the shoulder, this is what I have. I'll use my tape now to measure around the neck area. All right, use your tape to measure around the neck area this way. So I had about 19.5 inches. This is my pattern paper, and I'm going to use this now to cut out that 19.5 inches I had. Okay, 17.5, and I'm going to also add 1.5 inches to it. After taking the measurement around your neck, make sure you add 1.5 inches to it. The width for this, I'm going to use 1 inches. All right, so I'll connect it, and then I'll go ahead and cut this out. I'll use this now to cut on my edge stay. If you have a collar stay, it will even be more stronger than this edge stay, but because I didn't have a collar stay, I decided to make use of edge stay. So you place your pattern on either your collar stay, please use a collar stay, and then you are going to pin it down. After pinning this, go ahead and cut it out. All right, so I'll go ahead and trace it out just like this, and then I'll bring my white fabric. I'm using a bridal satin, so because it's going to be around the neck area, use a bridal satin or any fabric you're using, just use it to pipe the neck area. So I'm going to now place my hot iron on it, and then iron this to the fabric. Iron the edge stay we cut earlier to the fabric. I have a video on how you can cut a collar, and if you watch that video you will know how to cut this. And this one here is very simple for you to cut. All right, so go ahead and iron everything very straight, and I'm going to place the edge stay on it, or the collar stay on it, and also iron it out. Once I'm done ironing, I'm going to now mark ½ inch round this. This ½ inch is for the stitching allowance. Cut it round, and you're going to go ahead and trace it out. So you're going to use this now to cut another one. All right, you have to cut 2 pieces, so use it now to cut another one this way. All right, can you see? Cut another one. I'm also going to use my lace now. I'll place it on top to cut it out on my lace, because I want the lace to be on the collar itself too. So I'll use it now to cut on the lace. So as you can see, I'm just tracing this out. After this, I'm going to place it again and cut another one. So you need to cut out two pieces each, all right, on the lace and the bridal satin if you are using a lace. All right, but if you are not using lace and you're just using a normal material, 2 pieces is okay. After cutting this, you're now going to open it up, remove the pins. You're going to open it up. This is it here. So you bring one of the lace, place it on top of it like this, and you bring this other one here and place it on top of it this way. So you're going to place them together, right sides facing each other. You want to make sure that the part where you have your collar stay is facing you. All right, and then go over to your sewing machine. You're going to stitch ½ inch following that part where you have your collar stay. After stitching this is what I have. I've gone ahead to stitch through to this point here. It's kind of not visible because we are using a white fabric, so I'm going to now cut away the excess fabric I have. Just trace it out. All right, so after that, you're now going to open this up and iron it out. Open it up from the wrong side and iron it out. You want to make sure that everything is very neat and straight, and then you're now going to fold in ½ inch and also iron it out. All right, so on this part I'll fold in ½ inch, just the same way you do a normal collar. On this part, just fold in ½ inch this way and iron it out. I tried to do this, but it looks like the material was kind of like stressful, so I had to just keep it aside. So what you are going to do now is you are going to bring it now to the neckline. From this point here, from this point, you are going to pin it. Where you are pinning this, you want to make sure that from the beginning of that point you leave about ½ inch before you start pinning this down. Leave about ½ inch. Can you see? Leave about ½ inch before you start pinning it down. So you're going to pin this round the neckline, and then you take this over to your sewing machine and stitch it round. So continue pinning it round this way. Take it over to your sewing machine, and you're going to stitch it using that ½ inch of stitching allowance. After stitching, this is what I have. I'll just cut away the excess I have here. Just trim it off so that it's not going to be bulging along the neck area. You're going to now turn this now to the right side and iron it out. Make sure you are turning it, like when you turn it, you are placing it correctly. So you're going to turn it over this way, and this part here you're going to cut. If you have any excess, cut and leave at least ½ inch that you would use to join this part. Fold it into 2 like this and also join this part here. After joining that part, this is what it looks like. I'm going to now turn it inward, like turn it to the right side. All right, so turn it to the right side. Use your scissors to push it out. This sharp point, you're just going to bring it out this way, and do same thing to this other side. You use your scissors to bring out the sharp point. So after that, you're now going to use this part now to cover up the rough edges. So fold in ½ inch this way and use it to cover up this part that is rough, and then you're going to now go ahead and pin it down. After that, you're going to take this now to your sewing machine and stitch it all round, and our neckline is ready. All right, so that's what I'm going to do here, and then I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and top stitch on it. After top stitching, guys, this is what it looks like. This is how neat it is. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to now join our sleeve. I have already cut out a short basic sleeve, and this is what it looks like. If you don't know how to do this, I have video on this on my channel. You can as well go check it out. I'm also going to add my white chantilly lace to it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure around the sleeve areas to know how many inches I'm supposed to cut out. So what you do, you bring your sleeve, remember it's folded, you're going to measure what you have here. You're going to measure, so I had 12 inches. I'm going to use 12 inches now to cut on this white fabric. So first you will need to fold it into two. You're going to fold it into two this way, and then measure to be sure that it's up to 12 inches point. All right, so I'm going to measure this now. So this is more than 12. I'm going to try and adjust it this way, and then continue. So I'm going to also take it to be sure. So I think I have more than 12. This is okay. I'll go up and also mark 12 inches. So the width for this is 4, but I added ½ inch to it for the joining allowance, which is 4.5 inches. So after that, I'm just going to use my scissors now to cut this out. Once you're done cutting this out, you're going to place it on the fabric and join them together just like this. So I use this now to join on the main fabric, and this is what I have. So I'm going to now use this now. I'm going to now join the sleeve now to the main dress. So this is what you do. You pick one of it and you're going to notch the center point. You're going to notch it this way, and then bring it towards where you have your shoulders, where we join the shoulders. Place them right sides facing each other and pin it down. All right, so you're going to now stitch it all around and do same thing to this other side. Notch the midpoint, place them right sides facing each other from the shoulder area, and then pin it down. Take it over to your sewing machine and stitch it all round. So once I'm done with this, I'll show you guys. This is what I have after I was done joining my sleeves, and this is how beautiful it looks. I also did same thing on this other side, and this is what I have. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do right now is, just in case you want to fix your pockets, this is the main time to fix a pocket before you join the side. So go ahead and fix your pocket before you join your side, but I'm not going to be fixing my pockets on it. I'm not going to fix any pockets. All right, so I'll just join them right sides facing each other, and I'll start stitching from the sleeve area. So you stitch from the sleeve down towards to the length of the dress, and you are going to repeat same thing on this other side. Just go ahead and close up the side, and from the end here I'm also going to first fold in ½ inch and fold it again, and then stitch it around to secure the rough edges here. So guys, this is what I have after I was done making this dress. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comment section, and if you are yet to subscribe, what are you still waiting for? Please do well to hit on the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you'll be first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. You can see how the necklines look very beautiful. Everything here is well detailed. Let me know in the comments section what you think about this. Thanks for watching this video. If you are just coming around this channel, or this is the first time of being part of this channel, you are highly welcome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.